I'm all out of sorts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Let me try that again. Let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 202 of the Parody Time Paintball Podcast. I am swallowing my tongue. My goodness, I'm all out of sorts. What's up, folks? Tim Banks, first one to send a like, I guess. But Andrew Day, first one to comment. What's happening, buddy? Folks, bear with me here. I am fiddling with things because the sound is just not quite right. But we'll deal with it. That's what we're going to do. That's what we do. It's not an episode of the Maritime Paintball Podcast. It's not an MPP episode unless something goes catastrophically wrong and then suddenly things fall apart. You know, it's just how we roll. There we go. That fixed that a little better. Alrighty then. Folks, where was I? Episode 202. Super pumped. I sent out a question. I saw it in a chat. I'm not going to lie. I stole this. I didn't steal. I borrowed. I'm repurposing. A comment. I seen a comment thread on Facebook earlier. Let's fix that. My goodness. Basically saying, what does paintball not need? And, man, there was some pretty good comments happening. And I was like, this is a really cool topic. This is a really cool idea. So I wanted to talk about it on the show. And by talk about it, I mean, I'm going to talk, you're going to type, and I'm going to repeat what you say. So please throw up your comments. But the question of the day is going to be, what does paintball not need? You know, we always talk about paintball needs this, or we need to do that, or we want this, or we want to do that. Let's talk about what we don't want. Let's talk about the crap that pisses us off. Let's talk about the stuff we don't need. And I mean, there's lots of people have already commented. I've got the list up here in front of me. We'll get to that in a minute. First of all, let's, oh my goodness, I'm all out of sorts. I'm not thinking straight. So, folks, do us a favor. Let's hit the old share button real quick. Let's share this everywhere. If you are watching, please do me a solid. Share it everywhere. The more people in here, the more interesting the conversation. The more interesting the conversation, the less I have to work at it. It's great. So, keep those comments flowing. I see them. I'm reading them. I'll keep tabs on that. So yeah, let's make sure we share this out. Hit that like button. Hit that little happy smile face. Let's get some wows. Let's get some ha-has happening. Facebook updated them so they're animated now. So it's gonna be a good time. And we're gonna touch on some trips that are coming up. I'm making some trips in the next coming months. We're going to see where that goes. I want to see, hopefully I'll see some of you. That'll be great. I love meeting people in person for the first time. I always see, I see people all the time, and I see you guys online all the time. But I want to see, oh, hey, look at that. The comments broke. Oh, well, I can still see them. Keep them coming. Tim Banks is saying he left a Facebook page because all they did was bash Wolf and Megfed. Well, that's their problem. Trekker is talking. Where's Trekker? Trekker's over there on Twitch. What's up, Trekker? Spamming my chat. He's just dropping the salt. And he's talking about bad rental guns. 100%. Need to ditch that crap. If you don't have a solid fleet, don't, do better. That's all I can really say. If that's what your main problem is. What up, Dave? Speaking of trips, June, been making my way over to Commando Action Center for the Tipman Challenge D-Day 2019. Can't wait. Been there 3 years in a row now. And it's a blast. Absolute blast. Great videos on YouTube. If you go look, there's hundreds of videos from the event. This one, 2019, is going to be so good. God, I can't wait. We're going to get, Dave, I'm going to get you on the show at some point. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk up we're going to talk up the event because I know you've been working hard. I've seen the photos of the field. Super pumped. We're talking. This isn't like a regular paintball game. D-Day at Commando is more like a party with a paintball problem. That's what that is. It's pretty legit. Always a good time. And sorry, I'm just fiddling with see if I can fix the chat just a little bit. There we go. That's nicer. Yeah, there we go. We'll take that. And it's a great time. So, Dave, we're going to get you on the show. We're going to talk about it. And Ponish PB, working out some details. Don't want to miss it. Good chance I'll be there. Ballin'. Love it. You got to come. You got to be there. You got to be there. It's an event you don't want to miss. Andrew Day is saying bad mag-fed paint. I agree. I mean, if you get a good batch of paint, it's not too bad. But that's definitely something that needs to go. Bad paint in general. Just bad paint needs to go. Now, I get it. You got cheap paint for your rentals or for your, not your everyday people. There's no point in bringing in expensive paint if half of it's going to end up on the ground anyways. So I get that. But yeah, fields that exclusively only offer garbage paint. So Ryan Plascott, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Everything's going great. Everything's going fantastic. Had the day off today, so I'm all out of sorts. I'm usually getting off work and coming and doing this, and it's really weird. You'd think like coming off, like having the day off, I'd be like pumped and ready to rock and roll, but I'm just all out of sorts. Andrew Day's talking about his home field uses graffiti. Great paint. I use graffiti, and it's not bad at all. And somebody said it in the chat here. Ponage had a good point. Something that needs to change, something we do not need in paintball, or something that paintball does not need, was fields not working together and putting event dates on the same day. Eli, what up, Eli? Some PFOSA, PFOSA, paintball field owners, paintball player, field owner, something association. God damn. Eli, tag it in there, would you, bud? Because I can't pronounce it. Yeah. Where was I? Eli, you threw me off, bud. And yeah, has anyone shot the Brigade Magfed paint? Speaking of Magfed paint, like paint for Magfed, has anyone shot the Brigade stuff? I'm trying to get my hands on it. I just haven't. So there we go. Yeah. So if you have used it, let us know what it was like. I want to know what it was like on different tiers, different people, different experiences. And Eli, thank you. It's the Paintball Field Owners and Staff Association. Great Facebook group. Basically, it's exclusively for field owners, event organizers, I believe, and people who, basically anybody who works at a paintball field or works in the industry of paintball can go here and communicate with other people who work in it. What's up, Deep? Deep Patel's in the comments here on Facebook. What's happening, buddy? This man is a machine. He's an absolute monster. Amazing truck. God, I love that armored truck. Every time I see it, I just get all tingly. If you haven't seen it, just go look up Sergeant, any of them. Sergeant Splatter's Georgina Paintball City, I think is the three that Deep works with. But fantastic stuff. So, for anyone joining in late, basically the question of the day is, what's something that paintball does not need? Now, I was looking in the comment, like I dropped this in the on the podcast page earlier today, and it blew up. I mean, I'm not talking, it blew up for me. It's enough people were commenting on it, and there's some decent comments too. Like, let's move this over to all so I can actually read them all. Getting some interesting ones. Cheating in competitive play is one of the main reasons to stop participating. Also, a bad left knee and being old and out of shape would be a close second, though. Players or coaches dropping the N word out loud where kids can hear. I had to explain this to an adult this week, and one of his players thought I was joking at first. When I can hear it, it becomes my business. It's something I've never really experienced here in my travels, to be honest with you. Griffin's got a great one. He says, no attack dogs, no CS gas, no punji pits, no velociraptors. Basically, you can keep going. Obviously, he makes a good point. We don't want any of those in the sport of paintball. And read insane paint prices. Now, I'll defend some paint prices. I understand how to run a business, or at least I like to think I do. And, if you think the paint prices are expensive, maybe you should sort of take a step back and see where you're playing. Here in the East Coast, out here land is cheap comparatively to many places. We are very rural. Sorry, butchering those words. And land is cheap compared to like Toronto or Montreal. And because land is cheap, property tax is cheap, and because that's cheap, insurance is cheap, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's cheaper, I should say. And so paint prices are relatively normal, anywhere between $65 and $80 a case. I've paid $65 at one field, I paid $90 at another, but yeah, it's usually like $65 to $80 is the norm, and sometimes it goes as high as $110 depending on the paint and the field, but normally about $80 max, and I'm good with those prices. Now I know some places in Ontario and Quebec will charge upwards of $200 a case. Some of these fields are either in or extremely close to large cities. Land is not cheap, and it's not cheap to run those places. It's expensive. So you expect to pay a little bit more. Like if you can take the city bus to your paintball field, that is a luxury, right? And that's something I think you just sort of have to learn to deal with. Andrew Day is telling me he pays between 50 to 80 in Minnesota. Trekker says 55. And, those are all normal. I mean, 50 to 80 US. Steve telling me that Canadian prices don't count. I don't disagree. We in Canada, our money is closer to monopoly money when compared to the U.S. dollar. Eli dropping some knowledge on us. Says need less overpriced gear. We are currently ranked 15th most affordable extreme sport by the National Sports Association in the United States. Doesn't even compare to a regular sport. Also, less big egos, not the marker. So I'm guessing we're the 15th most affordable extreme sport, which I don't know how big that list would be. Is that 15 out of how many? That was what I'm wondering. Like, if it's 15 out of 20, it's pretty shitty that we're pretty that low on the affordability scale. If we're 15 out of 100, well, yeah. So, bro, that's why they make bags. Break that sucker down, pack it in a bag. Sorry, Pona just talking about bringing your T-15 on the city bus would be a good idea. So some of us don't use gun cases for our gear. Some of us have duffel bags. I have a duffel bag, so I put my MagFed gear in a duffel bag, which then goes into my big hockey bag that I use for paintball gear. So, in theory, it wouldn't be seen as long as you don't take it out in public, which I extremely, I do not recommend ever doing. Never take your paintball gear out in public if you can avoid it. So yeah, but yeah, paint prices. I'll defend some paint prices. Less politics. Just play B. I like that. Just play ball. Sizzle. I haven't seen Sizzle in ages. Keyboard warriors and hating people in the sport for doing positive things or quoting air quotes, growing the sport, even if they don't agree with it. Don't like it, scroll past, and don't interject negative comments. That bothers me more than anything. To each their own. William Gordon jumping in saying we need less haters. Always need less haters. Gotta keep a small amount of haters, though. Just a little bit. Just enough to keep the fire going, right? Gotta get a few. Just a few. And Julian Christie, Local baller here. Poor attitudes, cheating are the big two as far as I could see. We also don't need people misusing paintball gear in order to destroy public property or shoot critters on their lawn. Fortunately, I think we're seeing less and less of these types of idiots. I agree, we are. And I think it's because Walmart and Canadian Tire are like pulling back on the paintball gear. Or at least on the cheap paintball gear. I remember back in the day, you could buy paintball gear. You could buy a paintball marker for like $40 at Walmart. And yeah, of course, $40. That's cheap enough to do something stupid with. Ryan Plascott, less BS in general. You don't like someone, keep it to yourself. Playground rules, folks. Playground rules. Steve's dropping some real truth here, saying people saying you have to buy a $1,200 gun for kids asking what to get for their first setup. Yeah, if somebody new to the sport is just like, yo, what's the best marker? Do not be like, yo, if you're brand new to the sport, you need to go buy a $1,200, I don't know, the newest Lux or something ridiculous like that. No, don't do that. Don't do that to those people because they don't know any better. Hopefully they do the research and know that you're full of shit, but maybe they don't, you know. But yeah, keep it simple. So, Michael McKinley, what's up? PB Swag Bag, $37.95, shipped in U.S. Damn right. You're getting to it before I can, bud. You're getting to it before I can. So, Michael McKinley, CEO of PB Swag Bag. Folks, you know what? Let's talk about PB Swag Bag while he's here. Let's do this. Let's talk about. Let's take some time to talk about the people who make this possible. So let's go through this, shall we? You know what? Maybe we won't. Everything's all out of whack. My bad. My video is all fucked up. There we go. I think I fixed it. So Tim Banks saying he loves his PB Swag Bag. I love my PB Swag Bag. And you know what I love about it is that you get cool shit like this hat. You also get some really like the last bag had these Exalt ball sizers. How big are your balls? Fantastic little piece of kit, right? It's got 8 sizes on it. Bottle opener, tape opener, right? The bottle openers for sodas, ladies and gentlemen, sodas, right? Drinking soda on the field. Also came with like this beautiful barrel case, right? Rolls up, super sleek. So PB Swag Bag, $37.95, shipped every month to your door. In $37.95 shipped in the U.S. A little bit more to get shipped to Canada. Unfortunately, we don't have a Canadian edition of PB Swag Bag yet. But you know, you get the cool stuff. You get this hat, you get the ball sizer, you get gear from like Bunker Kings. Just solid stuff. Great stuff. And, you know, promo code MPP10 gets you 10% off. So, and it's, yeah, Tim makes a very good point that cool stuff that I'm not sure I would have bought. Absolutely. And it's definitely something, you know, you get some stuff that I don't think, you'd think you'd be like, no, I don't want that until you get it in your hands. And you're like, oh man, I love this. This is great. This is awesome. So, Michael McKinley's being like, no, beer. Like, you know, well, you know, if you got to open up the beer, open it up, you know, just, maybe wait till, after all the shooting's done. So yeah. Sorry, my video on some of these are all messed up. So folks, keep those comments coming. What do you think? What does paintball need less of? Is it anything in particular? Is there like, what's your pet peeve? Have you seen something you were just like, no, this is absolute garbage? Keep them coming. Somebody else who helps keep the lights on here, Tier 1 Armament. So if you go to tier1armament.com or tier1armamentstore.com, they're like your MagFed specialists, tactical specialists. They've got everything and anything you could ever need for your MagFed paintball, airsoft, soft goods. And if they don't have it, they can usually find it. So tier1armament.com, tier1armamentstore.com. Just great people. What's up, Rob? Rob's in the chat. Rob Rabbit. I'll be traveling with this dude to D-Day 2019. It's going to be a good time. 12 hours of me in the car. Actually, I think there's going to be 4 of us. So, but it's going to be a good time. Andrew Day is saying paintball needs less people telling me my 468 is scary and illegal. Just got to educate him, bud. Just got to educate him. That's all you got to do. So, oh, goodness. So, D-Day 2019 is coming up. Another trip we're making is Operation Wolverine. That's going to be a good time. The cool thing with Operation Wolverine is it takes place at a field called PRZ. Fantastic field. Abandoned, decommissioned. It's not abandoned. It's a decommissioned military hospital. Multiple buildings, multiple stories, very large field. Lots of ins and outs and dark hallways and windows and all that stuff. And the people over at DEFCON Paintball, if you go to defconpaintballgear.com, they're helping support the event, Operation Wolverine, specifically with a special buy, on first rate rounds. So it's buy 600, get 150 free, I believe. Fuck, I gotta memorize that. My bad. And so you go check them out. Paintball, defconpaintballgear.com. They've got everything paintball. It's great. Every brand you can imagine. Everything from like your markers to your mask to your accessories, soft goods. They've got things like barrel blockers. They've got the sizers if you want to go that route. And jerseys, pants, cleats, everything. Trekker's asking D-Day. D-Day is at Commando Action Center, my friend. Wolf dropping some truth. Paintball just needs to unite and act as one. Less hate and more working together to promote this game. I love it. He's not wrong. And I'm optimistic that is where we're going very, very soon. The future holds a more unified community, I hope. I'm very optimistic. So, Ponish PB says, sorry, I'm back. Nick Slowiak, I can't pronounce it. Nick Slowak just went live. Apparently the NXL Pro Field is like 6 inches of water in Dallas. Another Mudfest 2019. What? Michael McKinley, I've owned a field for 10 years. PeckandPaintballPark.com. I run one of the largest tournament series in the Midwest, MPPL and PB Swag Bag. We grow the sport by being positive, showing up, and supporting local field owners, and the not beating up on rental players. It's as simple as that. Share the feed, grow sport, grow paintball. Nick Ferens. Dude, share it. It's got to come together as one. That's all you got to do. Lift each other up. Don't step on somebody to get a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the way to do things. And Steve saying we need less conglomerates, more smaller, high-quality places. I agree. I am a big fan of competition in the marketplace. I think that if we have more fields, more businesses, it really helps. The downside, the problem with that is that the market dictates that. So if you... Gregory, I'm touching on that comment in like 10 seconds because you are preaching to the choir. So, less conglomerates, more small, high-quality places. Absolutely. Here's the downside. You start a company today, you start a paintball company today, and you're like, what's up? I'm going to start selling paintball gear. Let's use paintball gear as an example. Starting a field's a totally different beast. But you're like, I'm going to sell paintball gear. Guess what? The bigger companies are going to sell it cheaper. Nobody's going to buy from you. That is the harsh truth, right? You got to do a shitload of work to get anybody to buy from you because they're going to come to your store. That's assuming you have a storefront, even if you're just a website. If you have a storefront, they're going to be like, hey, can I see your markers? Cool, that's awesome, wicked. And then they go and buy from one of the big 4 companies that are selling mad amounts of stuff because they've got the buying power. Their prices are cheaper. They probably offer free shipping. Stuff like that happens all the time. It's it's hard. It's not as easy as just being like, I'm going to open a specialty store and I'm going to be really positive and give great customer service and people will buy from me. It's not how it works, unfortunately. Gregory, stop marketing towards kids who don't have money to spend on games and market to their dads who will spend money and bring kids anyways. Yes, I've been preaching that for ages. Now, bringing kids into the sport's great. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Steve, I'll touch on that in a second. I'll get back to that. Stop marketing towards kids who don't have money. Basically, kids should always be involved in sports. Kids should be in sports. It just helps with so much. Camaraderie, social skills, handling loss, handling wins, all that jazz. Sports are great for kids. Unfortunately, most kids don't have money. Paintball is a consuming sport. It is a sport where you go and you buy paintballs and then you shoot paintballs and then you don't get those paintballs back. They break. They're gone. They're gone forever. You literally are shooting your money away. But that's what we do. So what you need to do is, yes, we need to get more kids into the sport in the sense that hockey needs more kids in the sport. And football, soccer, rugby, they need more kids in the sport. They would just need to introduce kids to sports. But when it comes to, if you want to run a paintball field, are you going to market to the kid who has to ask his mom for money or his dad for money? And they're going to be like, no, I'm not. No, here's your $10 allowance. What does that get them? They get some what, like 15 paintballs? Let's be honest here. But if you market paintball as this sport of like, not a sport for adults, but you market it to the parents, right? So maybe do like bring your kid and the kid pays half, pay half for the kid or something. Kids pay, kids get 50% off. Kids have no entry fee. Right? You still pay for their paint, but it's like you show up and you pay your entry fee and you buy some paint and your kid doesn't pay an entry fee. Maybe they pay a rental fee or whatever, however your field works. So, stuff like that is how I really think it should work. It should be something to encourage you. Bring your son or daughter to the sport, and then it's like family time, right? It's a good time. It's great. Everyone's having a blast. But stop marketing the sport to kids. Stop being like, we need to get more kids in the sport. All we need to focus on is kids in the sport. Kids have no fucking money. Right? So, yeah, you got to make sure that the kids have a good time and you got to make sure that the kids have fun. But think about your average player, your regulars or your renters. They're typically older than 12 or 13 years old, right? They're a little bit older. So if you start marketing the sport entirely to children, and when I say children, I mean below the age of 15. I'm not talking like 5-6 years old. I'm talking below the age of 15. If you start marketing exclusively to those kids, and you're just like, oh, we're going to make the sport. We're going to be like, no, treat the kids, go easy on them. We're going to lower the FPS or whatever the fuck we're going to do because we want to make it easier for the kids. And this isn't like a snowflake situation. This is just straight up like you're going to drive away the players that are going to drop money on cases of paint. You're going to drive away the regular players because they're not going to want, because they're going to want to go hard. They're going to want to like stretch their legs. They're going to want to go hard. So what I'm saying is market it to their parents, market it to the older, the people with money, the people in their 20s with disposable income. They will bring kids. The kids will come in. And everyone keeps thinking like, oh, if we don't get kids into the sport's going to die. Every day, somebody else is turning 20. Every day. Hundreds, thousands of people turn 20. Just throwing the number out there. Why aren't we just marketing to these people? So that's my rant. I'm done with that. When I was talking about the opening up a shop, Steve meant manufacturers. 100%, I agree full-heartedly that we need more smaller, more specialized, high-quality manufacturers and less mass production. Unfortunately, we fall into the same problem. We're going to do harsh reality here. Okay, right? Reality check. To hire a professional machinist to machine, let's say, a barrel, right? We're going to say a single barrel. You want a barrel made. So you go to your local machinist in Canada or the US, right? And you go, yo, I want you to make me one of these. And they go, okay, cool. I'm going to buy the material, and then I'm going to machine it for you. And I'm going to charge you, I don't know. I have no idea how much they would charge. But they're going to say, I'm going to charge, let's say they charge you $150, $200. No, not that much. Let's say $50 to make the barrel. And you're like, okay, I'm going to pay $50 to make this barrel, and now I'm going to sell it for $100. Problem is that while that is a very high quality barrel and it is made by a skilled machinist, overseas, somebody else is machining that same barrel for pennies on the dollar because they are paying the people overseas pennies on the dollar. So what happens is your consumer sees a barrel that you go, no, I promise you it's high quality. Pay me $100 for this barrel. And then your competitor, who uses really great marketing techniques and great photos, goes, we also made a really great barrel. Trust me, pay me $50 for it. Who are they going to go with? Now, maybe they have a bad experience because that barrel was poorly made. Who knows? But they're going to sell 10 times more than you. So if you want to break in, or if you want smaller specialized manufacturers, you've got to be prepared to pay 10 times more. That's just the reality of it. So, yeah. Sorry. That's how it works, unfortunately. Nick's saying only money they need to spend on kids is the birthday party. Suck the money up, field owners for pizza and water for the party. I think he means like fields should provide pizza and water for free, is what I think I'm hearing. I could be misunderstanding, and I apologize if I am. But, I mean, he's not wrong. Sorry, I'm just seeing in the Twitch chat that apparently the video froze up a little bit. That might happen. It might come and go. Sorry, I don't have a moderator, so I've got to take care of this myself. And it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Gingy's in the chat. What's up, Gingy? And, yeah, where were we? So, trips. MIC Gear says it's all good on Twitch. Fantastic. MIC Gear, by the way, great guy. Awesome guy. Go find him on Facebook. Go check out his stuff. Custom soft goods. Like he started making them because he couldn't find anything he wanted, or it was because he could make it cheaper himself. I forget. Dave Pitts is back. What up? So, Dave, you're coming on the show soon. We'll organize it. I'll send you a message. We're going to talk about D-Day. We're going to talk about all the cool shit happening at D-Day. Also on the docket, coming up, is Operation Wolverine, which is going to be good times. First Strike event at PRZ. Good times. PRZ is always a great field. I love playing I always love playing at PRZ. Great time. The next game, hopefully, I make it, is the Battle Royale game at a Flag Raiders. So hopefully this year will be D-Day at Commando Action Center, Operation Wolverine at PRZ Paintball, Battle Royale at Flag Raiders, and we might be hitting up Texas. There's a strong chance that I'll be hitting up the Snake Eater game just outside of Dallas, Texas. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty pumped. That's in November, which means it's going to be like summer weather for me. Average temperature is like 20 degrees Celsius. That's like a nice, warm, early summer day here. I can't wait. If I can make it, I'm so pumped. It's going to be awesome. And um, so, sorry, reading the comments, just making sure that I'm seeing everything I need to see. And then there's also a strong chance that I'll be heading to Newfoundland. So hopefully going to make that happen. That's happening in August. So I'm going to spend a week in St. John's, Newfoundland. Hopefully hooking up with the trolls over at Frontline Paintball. We'll see what happens. And, for a day, I spend the rest of the time with family. But yeah, there's a lot of traveling involved this year. I hope. I really hope it happens. So, if there's any games or any events like you think it'd be worth me traveling to, don't hesitate to let me know and just be like, yo, check out this event, check out this game. Because, I'll take a look. I mean, there's a good chance that I won't have enough money to go, but I will definitely look into it for sure and see what happens. Andrew Day wants me to post videos. Obviously, I will be posting videos. I will go live every time I travel, as well as trying to do up some old school like Thrasher travel videos. See what happens. And yeah. Woo, sorry. Matt is back. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Matt's name. I butcher it every time. Dave's telling me I got to say hi to Tom at Frontline Paintball. Absolutely. I will definitely be stopping in. I know he's got some really cool stuff. I was there years ago. And Chad's asking, what's my home field? I don't really have a home field. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so so let's say if you wanted to catch me at a field, honestly, it would just depend on the weekend. I am everywhere. So right down the road from me, about 15 minutes away from me, is Capital City Paintball. I will be perfectly honest. I don't really play there often at all. I haven't played there in years because basically for a while, every weekend I had off, I was traveling to another field. Yeah, so that ate up a lot of my time. This year, I want to go over to Capital City. They are right next door to me, like literally like 10 minutes down the road. And I really want to play there more. And, but about an hour and a half away is Meg Hill Paintball. Great field. Awesome field. Look them up on Facebook. Meg Hill Paintball. Just great spot. But I would say those would be my two local fields. Ryan wants me to bring beer to D-Day. Absolutely. You want anything special? I think like a local maritime beer, nice, good, strong beer. Or do you want like a wheat beer? Or do you want like a blueberry beer? Like we make all sorts. Dude, we have more breweries per capita than anywhere else in North America. Yeah. In itty bitty little New Brunswick. We have more breweries per capita than anywhere else. It's wild. Alpine. All right. Yeah, I'll bring Alpine. It's a local beer, technically. It's brewed by Molson, though. But anyways, I'll bring Alpine. Gregory Bowman, instead of promoting expensive gear, promote the experience. If people fall in love with paintball, they will eventually buy into the market. It's true. I fell in love with the sport playing with a rental marker and a rental mask. It was absolute garbage gear, but I fell in love with it. Now, I might be a rare case. I'm one of those people that are just like, I played and I was instantly hooked. It was like, doing your first hit of heroin or something. And, but if you got quality rental gear and quality rental masks and stuff like that, there's no reason why somebody shouldn't fall in love with the sport or at least like experience the sport and be like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to play. Just promote the experience. Promote a good game. If you host a good game and you have a good field that makes people want to go back, they're going to come back, right? And then eventually they're going to be like, I want my own gear, or my own mask. And then they're going to get more stuff on top of that. Maybe they go the milsim side of things and they get like some camo, and they go the MagFed stuff and they get, all decked out. Or maybe they go to the speedball stuff or the pump stuff, like, and they go, man, I want my own mask. I'm going to get a jersey and some pants and the matching cleats, and I'm going to make it all look good. I'm going to look, basically going to look like a fucking sports car on, Matt's sending me a message. So Matt Savageau. I'm going to go Savageau is officially it. So I'll be seeing that man at D-Day. I'm going to see so many people at D-Day. It's going to be great. I'm going to film the whole thing. I'm going to balance playing and filming. Cole, if you like the speedball type, then rock the speedball type, man. And Ardav over on Twitch, he's just like catching the bug, I believe it's called. It is. It's catching the bug. You caught the bug. Matt's telling me it's close enough. When I see you in June, you're going to have to, we'll talk. And once I hear you say it, it'll stick to me. Ponage says he tries my best to look like a sports car. But it's true. Think about it, though. Like, sports cars, they're flashy, they're bright, they're fast, they're aggressive, right? They've got the sharp angles, they've got the cool colors and the designs. And then that's speedball or pump. You know what I mean? That's like professional bell. And then you've got like MagFed is the equivalent of like the rock climbers or the mudding trucks, right? They're all function, no form, right? Everything is supposed to serve a purpose. Half the time it doesn't. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm putting down. Beer exchange happening at D-Day, not during the game, but at the after party at the night. Yes, absolutely. I will bring multiple types of beer. I'll stop by a couple different breweries. Ardav, a Jeep versus a Ferrari. Perfect. Man, you're putting it all in the perfect words for me. I'm just gonna say what you type. You're doing the perfect job for me. It's doing it great. Doing a great job. Sports cars and mud trucks. Right? That's it. And sometimes you get this weird like mixture. So, Andrew Day says, I play MagFed, but would a Defender be a good gun to just sling paint? I don't see why not. The Defender's a strange marker, but those who love it absolutely love it. So if you can find one used for a good price, absolutely. It's expensive. Be prepared for that. Even used, you're looking at like $700-800, but they're great markers. I've seen them fire a lot of paint, but they're just such a strange machine, just a strange marker. Cole's setup is a Mini GS Spire IR, a Virtue Vio Ascend with the Mad Dog 4+3 pod pack. That's great. That's awesome. Cole says he's going towards Speedball Defender. I've heard some mixed things. He's going towards Speedball. Ardav says Defender, some mixed things. Definitely some mixed things for sure. Ponage, the truth is you can learn something from every type of game. Speedball, MagFed, Pump, Mech, whatever. That's why I play all of them. It's true. It's so true. So here's the perfect example. A few years back, we had something called the Maritime MagFed League. Okay? And I watched the game. I watched the team. This game is MagFed only. Right? So MagFed markers only. I watched one team. Whistle blew, and these guys ran. Like, we're talking speedball style of play. They ran to the 50. They started putting paint down range. They locked down lanes. I mean, a little differently with MagFed, but they locked down lanes. They yelled at each other. They communicated. They moved up and down, left and right. And they just demolished the other team. Just rolled them. The reason why was that other team whistle blew, and these guys, markers were up, knees were bent, and they moved slow and smooth. I'll admit, it was very smooth, but it was very slow, very tactical. as if like they were stacking up on a door, or they were moving up on a dug-in opponent, very slow, and they were just like, nah, right? And then they, it was very, very tactical. They got rolled on because all they ever played was MagFed versus MagFed in these like very tactical and choreographed games. Where the other guys who ran like speedballers, they play MagFed, but they play against everybody. They played against speedballers, they play against Pump, they play against MagFed, they play against Renters, they play against Wreckball, everything. So it's just what happens. Ponage, I believe your coach is Josh, right? He's got the Hammer 7 with the Didam mags. And our dev, it's very hard to lock down a lane with limited paint. It's one shot, like you're firing one ball or two balls at a time to lock down the lane. It's more like, because it's you're hit, you're out kind of elimination kind of game. It's very slow, and then very fast, and then very slow, and then very fast. Like it's Jeff, that's what his name. Thank you, Ponage. Yeah, Jeff. Me and Jeff went toe to toe one time. That man is a killer shot. Killer shot. Like, he and I were snapping back and forth at each other. It was a great time. I haven't seen him in ages. God, yeah. So my suggestion is play it all. Play it all. I've got MagFed gear. I've got speedball gear. I got access to pump gear because it's not mine at all. It's not even technically not mine. It's just not mine. It's the missus. So, but play it all. Play it all. So, William Gordon drives a Porsche. I'm a mud truck guy. Thought it was a sports car, but it's got a locking differential, so who cares? Bring your Porsche, as in Axe or Ego, to the Woods Ball course. Absolutely. I've brought that mini, like this monster here. I've brought that to Woods Ball fields. So, it's, yeah. And, Ponage, Jeff is crazy good. It's a little scary how good he is. He bounces from bunker to bunker faster than you can blink. The dude's a little nuts. Mad respect for the guy. Mad respect. So yeah, if you're learning under Jeff, you're gonna do amazing. It's just what's gonna happen. You're just gonna do so well. Sorry, I'm getting comments and chats. Got to make sure I'm staying on top of it. Sorry, folks. Okay, we're good. We're keeping up. Yeah. So, we're at the 48-minute mark. Let's talk. We talked about the sponsors. We talked about the sponsors of this show. I want to take a quick second. I want to talk about the people who I believe truly make this show possible. This is the Patreon supporters. So we're going to Mary, Ryan, Sizzle, Dave, Sage, Jeffrey, Alex, Dr. Rush, Tony, and Justin. All beautiful people. Fantastic people. These are the Patreon supporters. These people are financially supporting the podcast because they want to support the podcast. Got nothing off that one. But if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/maritime paintball podcast, and you can help us out, and I don't know, feel good doing it, I guess. You don't have to. I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying we do have a Patreon page, so if you would like to support, if you are in a position to, please do not break your bank to do this. patreon.com/maritime paintball podcast. Cole's saying he thought he recognized this marker. Invert Mini 3. Love this thing. With the Bunker King's sticky finger, which doesn't fit on the grip here, but it does make it so easy to pop that barrel off when you're, like, if this is covered in paint or whatnot, if your gloves are wet and you're like, I can't get it, it's just slipping, it just snaps right off. Beautiful. Great marker. I love it. This is actually my second speedball marker. My first one totally died on me. God, I love how those look on the mall. They look good, don't they? God, I love how they look. Sorry. So yeah, folks. Like I had asked earlier, I said, what does paintball not need? I bet one of those patrons' money go to buying Red Bull. No, unfortunately, all the Patreon's money. You guys want to know where the Patreon money goes? I'll let you know where it goes. I'll be very transparent about this. All the Patreon money goes to hosting the SoundCloud account so that the podcast can be on the air so you guys can see it. It goes towards streaming services so that I'm able to stream to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube simultaneously without having to run 3 separate instances of the program and basically cook my computer. It goes to a couple other supporting softwares that are helping me manage the accounts. Basically, things like TubeBuddy help with hashtags, keywords, stuff like that. It works. It's meant for YouTube, but it helps a lot with like Instagram and Facebook. So that's where the money all goes. Yeah, those are all monthly fees that I have to pay. It also goes towards Zoom, the software called Zoom. That's what I use. So it sorry. Zoom is the conferencing software I use to bring guests on remotely. So all of that's where all the Patreon money goes. That's like I don't keep any of that money. All of that money goes poof gone. Every month, and it's gone. Ponage says, yeah, somebody mentioned like when we said what you don't need in paintball. Somebody said no e-celebs. He says, but then there'd be no Brad. I'm in the camp of I don't like to think of myself as I really don't like to think of myself as an e-celeb. So I know I've talked to some people where they're just like, no, you absolutely are. You're absolutely an e-celeb. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm very modest that way, so maybe I am, but I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. When I think e-celeb, I think somebody with a ton of pull and a ton of followers, and that's not me. I do what I do, and I like to think I do it well. Ardav, Cole saying he's figured it would say rent. Nah, buddy, that doesn't even cover. Let me think now. And that Patreon right now would be able to cover 1/20th of what I pay. Yeah. So, and Ardav is saying, only discovered this podcast through Nightmares Pings last week. It's a really nice podcast. Glad I found it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. This podcast used to be absolute garbage, and now it is more like recycling. You know, so it's more like the recycling bin. So, and Cole found me looking through random paintball videos. That's awesome. I'm glad you found it. And, Sizzle says there's local e-celebs too. Absolutely. There's always like somebody local that you know, right? You're just like, oh, that's the guy, you know? David, you say you're not an e-celeb, but a few weeks ago, that kid who wanted your picture thought differently. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the term e-celeb I don't like. Content creator. I'd rather just be a content creator. I create content, people consume said content, and the cycle continues. And I have luckily positioned it in such a way that the content I create pays for itself. It does not pay me. It does not pay for my travel. It does not pay for my travel at all. Matthew Sean saying, I see e-celebs more as promoters. I like to think that too. It's you get people like Reaper and Wolf. Those are the two that always take the most flack. And they do a very good job of promoting anything. An event, a field, a brand. They're promoters. That's what they do. They are hype men. They get a crowd excited. They gain views online. People will stop and watch their videos. They will watch what they're doing, which is huge. That's a big deal. If you weren't doing that, then why bother, right? So, but yeah, they're a better way to report is as a promoter. Absolutely. Glad we cleared that up. Our Dive says in paintball, there's only about 7 to 10 really big YouTubers, paintball YouTubers they could think of. I think they do quite a decent job of promoting paintball. Yeah, absolutely, they really do. If somebody types in paintball into YouTube, YouTube is actually the biggest search engine in the world now, right? So everyone always says, "Oh, you got to Google it," but more people actually search on YouTube first. Right? So if let's say you got to fix your dishwasher. You're not going to type that. You're going to be like, how do I fix my dishwasher into Google? You're more likely to actually type it into YouTube. How to do this. How to do that. Information on this. Information on that. You're more likely to watch a video. So if you're curious about paintball and you type in like paintball, just the word paintball, into YouTube, well, you're going to find Nightmare. You're going to find Wolf. You're going to find Slim, Hidden Hedgehog, all that stuff. And that makes them promoters. And I think they do a good job. So. Cincinnati, Ohio. Somewhere I have not been yet. I'll have to go to Cincinnati at some point. Just the word, just the town. So. Sizzle wants to know, who was the first player you found on YouTube? I'll tell you. It was Borg Tech. Yeah, that was the first paintballer I found online on YouTube was Borg Tech. He was a DIY guy, and from Croatia. I know nothing about him, other than the unfortunate fact that he took his own life many years ago. Well, 10 years ago, give or take. So. Prairie Storm in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan has a D-Day game that had a couple of fields that are modeled after Omaha and Juneau beaches. You get to come out to the landing craft and everything. That sounds fantastic. That sounds awesome. That's wicked. Bonus is he found Mike Phillips back in 2008. I remember Mike Phillips. Yeah, back on. He used to do his reviews from like his kitchen table. That man, that was way back in the day. Yeah, that was Tech PB. I think it was Tech PB. Back in the day. Fun stuff, though. Sizzle says Wolf was his first YouTuber at my first big game, and everyone was talking about a guy called Wolf. I went home and looked him up. There we go. It's funny how that works, eh? You hear a name and you go and look him up. Brendan Dooley just says, oh my God, I remember that guy. Well, which guy? We've named off 3 before your comment came up. So you have to verify, you have to explain that one to us. And the A5 OG days. Yeah. And Chad Tobin, not enough paintball promotion in Nova Scotia. No real shops, just a few fields. It's true. It's hard. However, Nova Scotia has some of the best fields in the Maritimes. It's just, unless you're on the inside, you don't know about it. I find a big problem, too, is, I'm going to rant for about a minute and a half before I have to go, but one of the huge problems is that a lot of these fields, unless you're told where they are, you'll never find them. There was one field, Mersey Road Paintball. So goddamn hard to find. Like, you have to go into the back roads, onto another back road, and then you're on a dirt road, and then finally there's just like this itty bitty sign that just says paintball to the right. And you're just like, okay. And then it's a dude's backyard. Like, it's not promoted at all. Nobody knows about it. Meanwhile, in Ontario, you'd be driving down the highway, and Commando Action Center has one of the big blue government signs. I mean, it's not the big tall ones, but it's probably like that thick, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those ones, and it's just like boom. So you'd be driving along, and you're just like, damn, paintball. And you're gonna go look. Crossfire in PEI does a great job. They have a massive sign outside, on the front of the building. It's on the side of the road. Ryan says, I got to say, I only started watching paintball videos on YouTube to show people what D-Day Commando is. I hear that. I am hooked on anytime I'm feeling like that itch for paintball, I go and watch HK's videos, especially the ones that are edited by Spastastic. Awesome. I will not be making it down to Living Legends 12, unfortunately. For me to go to Living Legends 12, I basically have to cancel all of my other trips to be able to afford it. So Amy, paintball in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, has a couple MagFed only games, and the whole field is made to look like a town of Little Surmer. A little town in France that was a backup plan for if D-Day failed. It has full-size buildings, a harbor in the making, tank that roams around, and he only uses red paint. Also, the owner is ex-military. Very cool. That's fantastic. Crossfire was on The Amazing Race. The location is fantastic. He's a little expensive, but he's a tourist trap kind of thing, right? Like it's PEI. The whole island freezes over in the winter. Like they got to make all of their money in tourist season. So they've got to make a ton of cash in the spring and the summer. It's a little bit in the fall, and then basically the whole island freezes over for 6 months. Garner Lupo, what do you mean? What is this show? You know exactly what this show is. It's the Maritime Paintball Podcast. Andrew Day, never been to a game out of state, but I am soon. What special do I need to bring? Everything. Bring everything you can. Bring backups. Bring spares. Your marker will fail. It's because that's just the laws of nature. Your marker will fail when you're not near your home field. So, always overpack. If you pick something up and you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to need this, bring it. Got a busy chops somehow. Oh, there you go. Got a busy chops. Brandon Dooley's telling me paintball explosion, a paintball field located in East Dundee, Illinois. They have Nuketown still on the bucket list. Same. That is definitely somewhere where I want to go. I'd love to go to the original Nuketown. I will eventually. I just don't know when. It's on the list. It's on the to-do list. Marker fails as is tradition. It's true. Your marker will always fail at a big event. Hopefully you have a spare. And always have a Tippmann 98 in your sleeve just in case everything fails. It's true, because worst case scenario, you can take out the 98 and you can lube it with the paint that is broken in the barrel of your other marker. And if you can pack Aztec into your gear, take him. Because he will fix anything you could put in his hands. Bring extra underwear. Always brings extra socks. Folks, I cannot, okay, if you're going to a paintball field, so let's say you're going to go on a big trip. So you're going to a hotel room. You're going to get a hotel, right? And then you go paintballing. Make damn sure to bring a change of clothes to the field with you when you're done paintballing. Like if you go to a big game and you spend 6 or 9 hours paintballing and it's just boom, you're exhausted, changing into fresh, clean clothes, it's a whole other world. I tell you. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Folks, anyone on Twitch, if you guys haven't already, do me a solid. Let's subscribe to the channel, shall you? Yeah? Swallow my tongue there for a second. Subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Twitch is awesome for streaming because it actually lets me stream at a proper high definition, where Facebook is like, man, we're going to let you do 720, but Twitch will let me do more. And yeah. So, apparently a paintball field named Fort Knox built the shipment map from Call of Duty. And yeah, Ryan Plaskott always have fresh clothes in the gearbox. Always. Our Dav already done. Thank you, sir. Subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. I really appreciate it. It gives me a little warm feeling every time I see somebody subscribe. But folks, we're at the hour and 5 minute mark. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat now, and we'll let this roll. We're gonna let it roll for as long as we want because I control it. Oh, just gotta get comfortable. So if you guys got any questions, John Saywell, a shorty Phantom stock class marker and a Paintball Mafia 2-pack is my go-to rig at the end of the day when I'm tired of carrying around all that heavier shit. It's true. Like if you get near the end of the day and you're getting tired, just go minimal. Like if you can, grab just like a pump or a pistol or something light, and you'll feel like playing again because you're just like you shed this heavy gear and you're just like you're like yes. So Matthew Sean, when are you playing next in the Maritimes? I'm actually going to try and see if I can play this Sunday over at Capital City. I'm going to look at the funds, look at the money, see what happens. And Sizzle's got a great idea. Drop your pod pack and just go with a hopper full of paint. Good to go. Paintball caddies, are they worth it? I would say yes. So I would say paintball caddy is worth it. Yeah. Can't wait for my Umarex TR50 revolver. I would try and pronounce that username, but holy hell. Hehsifne. Yeah, no. The TR50 is a very fun marker. I have one, and I really enjoy playing with it. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. I need to get a Kydex holster for it. That's my next purchase for that. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. It shoots 50 cal, so if your field allows 50 cal, run it, make it happen. They're very fun. So, but yeah. Any other questions there, fellas? And ladies, if you're in the chat, I don't know. I just see a lot of guys' names flying by, so. But yeah, the TR50 is a ton of fun. It is an absolute blast to play with. It feels so good in the hands. But I definitely need a holster. I need a nice leg, like drop holster on the leg. Sizzle's saying the caddies are good for final battles. Use it to fill hopper than my pods. Yeah. And shoulder mount. How do you shoulder mount a pistol? Somebody explain that to me. I'm going to Google that later. I know they're on DEF CON, Andrew. I absolutely know they are. Because it's probably where I'm going to buy it from. Sizzles let me know that the Sea of Thieves update today. There is indeed. I have no time to play it for the next 72 hours. I'll probably be playing a lot of it Saturday, though. That's happening. Been playing the Insider. I've been doing the Insider stuff, so I've already played all of it. It's a good time. Sea of Thieves, folks. It came out of the gate slow and nothing there, but now it is an entirely different game. So probably start streaming that. I always talk about I'm going to stream video games, but I just can't dedicate any more than an hour a week. No such thing as a shameless DEF CON plug there, Ardav. DEF CON does a great job of hooking players up with stuff. Andrew Day, what would make you not want to play paintball anymore, if anything would? You know what, man? I don't think there's anything that could make me stop playing paintball. For real. I really don't think there's anything that would make me stop. Even if I was I would have to be completely immobilized. That's the only way to do it. Nothing else is going to stop me from playing. I'll adapt. Something changes in the game that people are using something different. I'll adapt. I'll change to use that. I don't know. It don't matter. I'll make it work. But there's absolutely nothing to make me stop. So, yeah. If you had to buy all new gear, what would you buy? Oh God, everything. Honest to God, I don't know. I really don't know what I would buy. That's a hard question. If I had to buy all new gear, I don't know. If you had to buy all new gear, what would you buy? I don't know what I would buy. I really don't. Okay. So, like, new mask, I definitely want the Bunker King's Command. I would probably move to I don't know what marker I'd move to. I really don't. I'd have to sit down and really think about it, because everything I have, I love everything that I have. So I haven't really looked at any new markers. I don't daydream. I don't window shop, so I don't look at things. So I really don't know what I would go with. If I could, though, you know what? I'd probably go with something like old school, something from Inception Designs. It's like something really sleek and sexy. So yeah, something like that. Probably get like a custom-made jersey, some custom-made pants. Grab some like Nike cleats or some nonsense like that. That kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's it. So, folks, we're gonna call it there, I think. And quick, I'm gonna throw this in. I want one last comment from the last 7 of you that are watching. Would you could we benefit from a Discord server? If I created a podcast Discord server for you guys to, jump into games with me anytime I'm playing on PC or Xbox, chat with me outside of Facebook, you guys want to drop some stuff, would you guys use a Discord server? Because I'll set that up tomorrow. That simple. I mean, I'll figure that one out. And, that way these conversations, you guys are having a blast in this feed. Maybe we get that feed going in Discord as well. Maybe we'll move the conversation over to Discord afterwards and see what happens. Yeah? All right, I've got 4 yeses. I got a Sizzle's always down to game. So, yeah. Okay, cool. We'll set up a Discord server. Get that happening. Andrew Dace is beyond that, like nobody's business. All right, awesome, folks. We'll set up a Discord server in the next 2 days. But that's it. We're out of here. Thank you so much for anyone who's stuck around in the chat and hung out. And it's been a blast. So we'll get the Discord thing going. Folks, do you have any questions, topics, concerns, comments, anything you guys want to chat about? If you have any ideas for a podcast episode, please just shoot me a message, put it on the page, comment whatever, it doesn't matter, and I will see it, I promise. But that's it. So do me a favor, if you haven't already, please subscribe on either YouTube or Twitch or both. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Maritime Paintball Podcast. Very easy to find us. And to find me, and yeah, try to post every day. Love to chat with you guys because I have nothing better to do apparently. Dav says he'll help me out with the Discord server. Fantastic, awesome. All right, folks, we're out of here. Thank you so much for everyone who stuck around chatting, especially those of you over in Twitch, keeping it going over there. Holy shit, loving it. But that's it, folks. We are out of here, and. Yeah, thank you so much. Until next week. Cheers.